morning, everybody. We can go ahead and get started. So, yeah, Sam got that covered. I'm a product education engineer with HashiCorp. Our team is dedicated to creating tutorials to help you learn all the various products, Terraform, Vault, Nomad, etc. We already went through the introduction for the TAs. We've got Yoko, George, and Navitha. One thing we want you to know about, at the end of the presentation today, or at the end of the hands-on session, you're going to have a chance to win a voucher for a pro exam, a HashiCorp Pro exam. So stick around for your chance to win the voucher. Okay. So our agenda today, we go a little bit deep into the weeds on some Terraform concepts, so I want to make sure we have a little bit of a level set. This would be pretty easy for some of you, but we'd leave some people behind if we didn't talk about some of this stuff. So I want to make sure it's all covered. Then we're going to talk about ephemeral values, which are a really great way to deal with certain security issues. Then we'll go into the hands-on lab, which we're going to start with reviewing a config. We'll take a look at the issues that I talked about. We'll go update the config to use ephemeral values, and update config to use the ephemeral values, and then demonstrate how those concerns are no longer a concern. And then there's some more extra challenges where this is going to be the real hands-on part of the lab, where I'm going to give you, as long as you have a laptop and a web connection, you're going to be able to get in there and you'll have access to a Vault Enterprise instance. And there'll be a series of different challenges, creating namespaces and things like that. You're going to be able to go in there and use that for a little bit. Okay, a little tiny bit more detail on what we're going to get into here. We'll bring up the configuration. We're going to, the Terraform configuration. We'll apply it. We will examine a little more detail on how in the Terraform state and the Terraform plan, a generated Terraform plan, some values are stored in clear text. Then we will tighten security by adding a new construct in Terraform in the Vault Provider version 5 called ephemeral values. And there's two different ephemeral values you need to know about: write-only attributes and ephemeral resources. Then we will verify that the values are no longer written to the plan or the Terraform state. And Terraform overview that we were talking about here. So, just real quick, why use Terraform? You've probably heard this, but let's go through it one more time, right? It's to leverage the power of infrastructure as code. The code specifies infrastructure. It means you can easily reproduce configuration between different environments, different Vault instances in this case. And I love to use an example of this back when I used to work at a major car insurance company. They had a whole process of requesting a new AWS account. And I remember when it started, it took like a month to go through, because of course it was a car insurance company. They had a lot of financial regulations, right? Regulations on what could be and couldn't be and the type of security they had. And it took a month to get the account set up. But once they actually started having a lot of the checks and other security structures in place, they got it down to a couple hours. And what really was slowing things down is there were certain things that back then, I don't know about now, I haven't checked in a while, that you could not programmatically do in an AWS account, like limit what regions you were in. You might be able to do that now, but back then you couldn't. So most of it was automated, and then they had to have somebody go in and say, no, not like only these regions were the only ones that were allowed to be used in that account. And I believe there were a couple other things, but going from a month to a couple hours, and the couple hours was really just because of limits in AWS. Okay, yes, and so yeah, so they could easily reproduce the configuration between environments. And one of the great things that Terraform does is it allows for a peer review. somebody made a change to one of those configs, and you could have other people double check it before it goes into production. Okay. So the Terraform Vault Provider, which is going to be we're going to be talking about mostly today, there's really two use cases that we're going to that it focuses on. The first one is being able to configure Vault quickly and be able to reproduce it very quickly, right? So you would be able to use infrastructure as code principles to manage Vault's configuration. So you could just quickly put up, like one thing we're going to do is we're going to look at using the same policy in different namespaces, right? You have the same you want an administrator policy to be the same in every namespace you create, and that's very easy to add in Vault also. Yes, and you can version control the Vault setup. So that's always nice. If you ever need to, you'll be able to go back. Yeah, and you'd have a whole suite. You could create a whole suite of resources ready for your development teams. Everybody wants to have a secrets engine of the same name or something like that. The other common use case is to read or write secrets from Vault, where it's the secrets. The Terraform Vault Provider is in more of a secondary position where it just is getting the AWS credentials for you while you're mostly worrying about changing AWS. And you would have to set up Vault to, like the Vault AWS Secrets Engine or the auth method, but then you could just create things in the config that would read the credentials for you and you could use them. So, okay. And you might be wondering, so how does Terraform know how to interface the cloud and service providers? And this is kind of a high level of how it works. The Vault Provider is written that creates, that uses the client library for Vault, the Vault API. So the Vault Provider is a plugin, like the AWS provider, all the other ones. They are providers. They serve as an interface between Terraform and the target cloud or service API. In general, they just add data types and resources. We're going to be looking at a new type of resource in a little bit. So this is still valid because it's a specific type of resource. But those are the two things that you're going to be, the main things you're going to be worried about. Okay, let's see. And here's the Terraform workflow, right? First thing you'll do is you'll create a file written in HashiCorp configuration language. You'll hear us say HCL. It defines an infrastructure, and this is usually what we refer to as a configuration file. Terraform acts as an intermediary, allowing us to write configurations for the Terraform, which the API to make calls to the provider. So, and there's a difference between a Terraform provider and a provider. It gets a little bit strange. So like a cloud provider is AWS, but there's going to be a Terraform AWS provider. So when you say provider, hopefully it's clear. Okay, so before creating or updating an infrastructure, Terraform will display a plan. And you can see it up here that lets you review the changes that are going to be made, and you can save that plan and apply it later. And that's the way you want to do it, to make sure that what you review is actually the changes that are made. And then once you apply, it will create a JSON file called a state file, and that should be the current state of the target infrastructure. So, okay. So this is great because it allows you to focus on the infrastructure and not worry so much about a lot of the details. You do have to know a lot about the cloud or service provider, but it does abstract a lot of things away. Okay, so this is great, right? But there is the concern we talked about, right? So Terraform sometimes, Terraform, if you have secrets specified in your configuration earlier, I should say, the modern versions of Terraform don't do it, but the earlier versions could write secrets to the state file. And also, if you generate a plan file, the secrets will be in there. If you display the plan file, it's usually says sensitive value. But if you actually do the plan out and then look at that with Terraform show, you'll see all the sensitive values we talked about. And we will go through all of this here. And so, of course, now you have some sensitive values in the configuration. If you output a plan, you also have the sensitive values. And then once you make the change, they'll be in the state file, right? So it's bad enough you had, maybe it's necessary you have one file with this, with these secrets, right? But now you kind of have three. You could have 2 to 3, depending on if you save your plans and things like that. So. But luckily, I believe it was Terraform 1.11 and then Vault Provider 5 or later, they added ephemeral values. Terraform had a little bit before the Vault Provider did, and the two things we're worried about now, the ephemeral resources, it's a new type of resource that the information is not persisted to the state or to the plan, and it's only used during execution. And then there's write-only arguments, which are modifications to current resources that now, by specifying that they're write-only, these values will not be persisted to state or the output plan. Okay, so I'm going to put this up for a minute. You can start loading the hands-on lab. If the QR code doesn't help, there's the short code right here. So get that started, and then once you load it up, there's going to be a green launch button that we're going to want you to hit. And I'm not going to take off the screen here just yet, because I want everybody to have a chance to get at this. But here's your chance to get this launched. And again, I'm going to move on in a second, show you a diagram, and then we'll come back to a page with this QR code. And if you guys can't read that, that's hashi.to. I know spouting it off isn't going to help a lot, right? So I guess if you're having trouble with this, we have some TAs around here that you can raise your hand and they can bring it up. So I'm going to give another 10, 20 seconds, and then I'm going to go ahead and move on. Okay. So here I just want to visualize a little bit of what you're going to be doing. There's already in the instruct track, which is what you launched up there. There's already a Vault instance running, okay? And then in there, the Terraform config is actually going to create a PostgreSQL database. It's also going to create a KV version 2 secrets engine, and it's going to create a database secrets engine with a connection to that database. And between these are the ones that we're going to be making sure are secure. Let me see. Okay, I will bring this up here one more time so people have a little bit more time. So yeah, we'll go over this one more time, right? So the first part of this track we're going to actually do together. We'll step through all these different things, and but there's going to be a certain point where I'm going to let you go, and then there's some challenges you can work on with the help of the TAs. I'll also be out in the crowd helping. Okay, so quickly go over how this is. We have a terminal for you. We also have a code editor, which seems to be a very simple version of VS Code. And then we also, for the later challenges, we have here a link that just opens the documentation for the Vault provider. And we'll go into that in a little bit more. First, a little tour of what's going on here. Let's take a look at Terraform here. Here's where we specify 4.8. the 4.8 version of the provider, and this is one of the things we will be changing in a little bit. Other interesting, we have a couple files here that are for the later challenges, so don't worry about if you see a file like auth or education, which is basically empty. Don't worry about that. Main here, that's where we have the KV version 2 secret that we talked about. And there's, of course, the secrets engine is also created here. And down in Postgres, that's where we have some of the supporting things we talked about, like brings down a Docker image and starts it up and running. Here's the database secrets engine we talked about. And here is the database secret backend connection. So, you okay, Judith? Okay. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Now, like I said, this first part, let's go together. I want to make sure we're familiar with everything. And in just a little bit, we're going to go ahead and I'll let you go. So, go ahead and run your init. Oh, let's see. Can you? Yeah, oh, you can. Is that good enough? Okay, there we go. Thank you. Okay. Okay. Now, the next thing I wanted to, well, I always recommend, it doesn't hurt for you to run Terraform validate, make sure there's no silly mistakes. And here's the plan we talked about. And let's see, it is right here. So that's the amount. And here's the accounting DB root we were talking about. Right now, the data JSON, I believe is the one it was, it's listed as a sensitive value, which that's great, right? This is exactly what we're looking for. And the database connection over here, it was the password key right here, also a sensitive value, right? So this is good. This is exactly what we want. This is just the display though. If we output the plan here with this Terraform plan out, let me bring this. Some of these commands get a little long, so we won't necessarily go over them here. But you see, this actually created a file for the plan, tf.plan, and this is not clear text. So if you want to take a look at that, you actually have to use Terraform show -JSON. And I'm going to run a command here that's going to look for the secret backend connection. Go ahead and run that. So the Terraform show JSON, took the plan and then formatted it in JSON. I just ran JQ to look at similar information that we just did in the text plan. Right, so I believe this one was the one, yes, it had a password value, and there's nothing really here, so that's fine, right? There's no real concern with the database connection resource. But if we look at accounting DB root, which was a secret for setting up the database, see right there, the data JSON, the password to set up the database connection is right there in clear text. So that's just the plan. Now let's apply the plan. Here it just goes through, it starts up Postgres. Am I getting too far ahead of anybody? I want to know. I was told that there might be some connection issues, so I don't know if anybody's having any of those. Don't want to get too far ahead, but I'm not seeing anybody say they're too far ahead. So this went through, it created everything. And here's the point. Now we can take a look at the Terraform state. The Terraform state file was created right there. And we use JQ again to hit it. And you see right there in the state, there's that password. And yeah, And then let's go ahead and check the secret. So this is the one that when we looked at the output plan, it didn't have anything in there, but there should be there we are, password, accounting admin password. So there, the state output that too. So now we're going to move on to the next section where we're going to fix this. Okay, we'll start this by hitting the Terraform provider, or changing the provider version, right? So comment or delete out the 480, and then remove the comment from version 5. From there, let's take a look at main.tf, and I've got a couple changes to make here. First, if you want, you can just change it, but I'm gonna just do a second one here is what I'll do. Now here's what we talked about with one of the ephemeral values, that now it's called data JSON write only. So, and we can just copy the rest of this in here. I see I got an extra. So, and the other thing we need to add is a data JSON version, write only version, because the value this is only kept track of during execution. So if you change it, you need to tell Terraform the value has changed. So that's the purpose of the versions here. Okay, now we need to add an ephemeral resource. So just go down to the ephemeral vault KV secret v2 and uncomment it. Here, for the vault mount, we just can do vault mount, and then that was the amount up above, accounting KVV2, right there. And you need the path for this. After I fill all three of these out, I'll stop for a minute, make sure everybody sees where we need to be. The ID, it's also referring to the same secrets engine, but just make it the ID attribute here. Okay, now for the name, it needs to match the name of the other Vault KV secret 2, but the normal one here. So accounting DB root and then dot name. Okay, I'll leave this up here for the other 10 or 20 seconds and make sure everybody can see this. And then we're going to be moving on to the PostgreSQL .tf. Okay, here we just move down here. And this one, I'll just go ahead and edit it directly, make password write only. And here it needs to refer to the ephemeral Vault KV secret v2. So that's one of the changes need to make in the toString. There's two changes that need to be made. Not only adding ephemeral before this, which you can see I have it in the instructions in case you need another minute or two, but the accounting DB root needs to also refer to needs to be changed because the normal KV secret v2 resource and the ephemeral ones have slightly different names. And of course, as I mentioned, Terraform doesn't know you've changed it unless you tell it you've changed it. So we need a password write-only version added. Okay. Give just a little bit more, and then we're going to go back over to the terminal and do another Terraform init with an upgrade because we changed the vault provider. And you see here, it installed the new version of the vault provider. Okay. Take a look at the plan, and you see these things have changed. The DB root shows that a block was hidden, right, and some attributes are hidden. That is new, and then the backend secret connection. The PostgreSQL block here has a bunch of attributes hidden now. So the plan changed, and then we will output the plan, and you'll see very, very similar. Similar in that I believe they're all null values now. The password write only, there's the version, and the password write only is null. So not written to the generated plan, and the DB root's very similar. Right, the data JSON write only is just a null, so not in the plan anymore. Let's apply this. It changed two things. And take a look at this, the new state. Data JSON write only is a null for the accounting DB root. So that is no longer kept in state. And do something similar for the connection accounting Postgres. Right there, password write only. Also not there. So, okay. Real quick, I have some questions for you all. Well, I think that was a good demonstration of how ephemeral values prevent secrets from going to more than just the configuration. No longer held in state, no longer in generated plans. Now we're going to go to the more hands-on section, and I want to start with. Does anybody want to volunteer, like how to list secrets engines? Not with Terraform. The CLI is fine. Does anybody know that off the top of your head? Yes. And you'll see here's the KVV2 that we just created, and this is the database secrets engine that we also created. Okay. Then how do you list the secrets in KVV2? How would you list the secrets? I'll give you Vault for free. Nobody want to guess? Vault KV. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. I'm mixing up my. There. Oh, it's KV. Was it list? Yeah, my bad. There we are. So there's the PGX root we saw just a minute ago. So how about if I'm using the Vault CLI, what could we do to read that secret? Anybody want to guess? I just gave you half the answer in the last one by writing it, so it should be easy. What's up? Yes. Yes. KVV2. My bad here. And then yes, PGXX root. Oh yes, this is true. Thank you. There we go. Okay. So now we're going to go ahead, you hit check, and load up the next page, and there's some challenges you can go through here on your own. All I'm really going to do is just tell you what high level what they are, right? So like I said, the code editor is like a very simple version of VS Code, so most people should be familiar with it. The first challenge goes through and create a namespace for accounting, and then go ahead and put a lot of the stuff we just modified into the accounting namespace. And then just ask, I think I give you, you apply, and then a command to kind of show you that now that stuff is in the namespace. And then we ask you to create an education. Let's see. Oh no, we go to the auth engines. Okay. Then we go through and create some user pass auth methods create some user pass auth methods, and then an education namespace with some things in there. And then using the same admin policy to create admin policies for a user for education and accounting. So with some commands on how to test it. But yeah, that's basically the rest of this. Some challenges for you to go through, get used to Vault a little bit more. And let us know if you have any questions. If you want to play around with something else on here, you are welcome to. We're not going to slap your hands probably. So.
Do you want to talk about how to enter into the platform?
Oh, okay. Yes. Yeah, we did do that earlier. So I guess we'll go ahead and do this. So once you finish, you can come up here and we'll give you a ticket. We will give you a ticket, and then a little bit closer to the end, we will go ahead and pick one randomly, and whoever we choose will get a free voucher for a pro exam.
So can you open your main TF file?
Sure. Main. Yep. What's wrong? Is there something specific you want to look at?
The ephemeral section. Yeah, where these values come from.
Where do these values come from?
Yeah.
Okay, you have to refer to the mount right here. Right, accounting KVV2, yeah. And then if you're not sure about this type of thing, what you probably want to do is open up the Vault Terraform provider. Actually, this is a good thing to go into. Wait, before I go too far in here, does it sound like I'm answering your question, or is there a different question that I'm missing?
I guess those mount point and name and all those things, where did they come from?
Okay, so the Vault mount, we're referring to other structures within the Terraform config, right? This one right here, right? The counting KVV2, that's the same down there, yep. And then, is it the path and the ID you're not sure about? Okay, yeah, then we definitely want to go ahead and, let's go ahead and look at Vault mount over here. So this is the Vault provider. The Vault mount was a resource, so come over here and find Vault mount. Just a second here. I'm sorry? Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm going to probably constantly need to be reminded about that. Thank you. There, the next mount. There's 40 of them. Okay. Vault mount, here we are. Okay, so to find these values, you look up this resource right here. They give an example usage, but the argument reference right here. So here's the path. So these are the values that the Vault mount offers. Now, are you wondering what the ephemeral needs? Is that where you're?
So I think the path, the keyword path or the ID and all those things is fine. The main thing is that on line number 28 or the ephemeral portion, when you say mount, there are two questions. When you say mount equal to vault_mount dot and the next value.
Okay.
The next value, where did it come from? And same thing, same question for the name in the same section.
Okay.
Where did those values come from?
Okay, so you're saying why did I use those particular values in this circumstance? Okay, because the Vault Secret KVV2, that's the one that has the sensitive value, right? Right. So, and this is part of this secrets engine. The vault mount is just another term for secrets engine. Okay? So this is the secrets engine that this secret is in. So we want make sure the ephemeral resource is referring to that secret. So by doing that, it needs to know the mount, and it needs the path and the ID, and the name is referring to this secret also. So yeah, you would have to do, each secret needs its own ephemeral.
So the reference is actually coming from the previous section of the.
Yeah. And so yeah, if you need to do it again, you have to know what the mount is called, you have to know what the secrets engine is called, you have to know what the secret is named, and then Vault knows I need to treat this as a ephemeral.
And on line number 30, all those values, there is for the name, yeah, those values actually, where do they come from? I think that's
Right here,
yeah.
right? So
Keyword, right?
yes. Yeah, so it's the Vault KV Secret 2. And we can look at the ephemeral resource in the documentation too. This accounting DB root, right, is referring to that secret. And the name of it, and which I just called PGX root. Is that good? Do you have any more questions? Okay. Okay, yeah, so it's good for figuring that out. It's really good to know that you can come in here if you want to look at the ephemeral. You see there's a separate, there's 4 sections under here, I suppose. There's resources, guides, and for some reason this isn't collapsing. There's data sources at the very bottom. I can at least scroll down there. See, there's data sources down here. And data sources, we're not using them in this one, but again, they're generally reading something that already exists, okay? And here's the ephemeral resources. Right now, there's Vault Database Secret and KV Secret v2. And you can see here, there's an example of how to use it. And it does it very, very similar in that it sets up a vault mount, right? The secret, and here's the ephemeral. So very similar to the example here. And here are the arguments that are supported and the attribute reference.
So one very quick question. When we say password underscore WO or secrets underscore WO or whatever, that WO is or underscore WO, is that kind of like a keyword designating that, oh yeah, this particular thing?
Yeah. Yeah, if you want to use that with ephemeral secrets or ephemeral values, you need to do that. And I think it actually gives, I don't know if it gives a warning or an error. If you would do the password by itself, it either gives a warning or an error. I forget which one it actually does. So it lets you know you shouldn't be doing it that way anymore. You should only be doing write only. So, okay. Okay, do we have any more questions? Okay, I guess we can go back here and let you get back to this. A lot of your questions we'll be able to, by looking at the provider documentation, you'll be able to answer them, but if you have any other questions, don't hesitate to raise your hands. We've got 4 of us assigned to this, so let us know. Seriously?
Okay, thank you, Ken, and for all the TAs, Yoko, George, and Navitha. That was a really interesting talk.